There are places on Earth where nature doesn't just challenge human life, it actively tries to erase it. Places where metal shatters like glass, breath turns into ice mid-air, and a single mistake outdoors can cost fingers, skin, or your life. In the far reaches of eastern Russia stands a city that lives in defiance of physics, biology, and common sense. A city where car engines never sleep, where food hangs outside instead of inside refrigerators, and where winter temperatures plunge so low that boiling water freezes before it hits the ground. This is Yakutsk, the coldest city on Earth, where survival isn't a lifestyle choice, it's a daily requirement. We travelled here in the heart of winter to experience how 350,000 people endure conditions that should be uninhabitable, and what we found goes far beyond cold. Before we step into this frozen world, take a second to like the video, share it with someone who loves extreme history, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every bit of support helps us bring you deeper stories like this. Now let's go straight into life at minus 71 degrees. Yakutsk is the capital of the Sakha Republic, also known as Yakutia, a vast region built entirely on permanently frozen ground called permafrost. Located more than 8,200 kilometers from Moscow, this city exists in near isolation, connected by roads that become deadly in winter and rivers that serve as highways only when frozen solid. Winter temperatures regularly sit around minus 50 degrees Celsius, and during extreme cold waves they drop even further, with recorded lows reaching minus 71. At these temperatures, the environment stops behaving in familiar ways. Wartime survival. Daily life begins with food designed for survival, not pleasure. Locals eat heavy, fat-rich breakfasts every morning because carbohydrates burn too quickly in extreme cold. Fats provide long-lasting energy, generate heat through metabolism, and delay hunger when the body is under constant thermal stress. Pancakes soaked in butter, dense cheeses, eggs and preserves aren't indulgences here. They're armor. Clothing follows the same principle. Residents wear up to 10 layers daily, starting with thermal underwear and finishing with thick wool and fur. Synthetic coats fail at these temperatures because they trap moisture and lose insulation. Fur works because microscopic air pockets block wind and retain body heat, the same evolutionary advantage that allows reindeer and polar animals to survive. Exposed skin can freeze in minutes. Metal touching bare skin can rip flesh away. Even eyeglasses and zippers become hazards. Outside, visibility collapses into a white void. Exhaust fumes from cars freeze instantly, forming frost fog that blankets the streets and traps pollution near ground level. Engines cannot be turned off. Oil thickens, batteries die, and metal contracts so violently that restarting becomes impossible. Cars idle day and night or are wrapped in thick thermal tarps designed to trap residual heat. A silent car in Yakutsk is usually a dead one. The city itself floats above the ground. Buildings stand on concrete piles instead of foundations because heat from living spaces would melt the permafrost below, causing structures to warp, crack and collapse. The ground here is stable only as long as it remains frozen. That's why gas pipes, water lines, internet cables and power lines all run above ground, exposed to the open air. Digging into the soil would destabilize the entire city. Heat is the enemy beneath your feet. Food storage operates on the same logic. Refrigerators are unnecessary when the outside air is colder than industrial freezers. Meat, fish and produce are stored on balconies, hung outside windows or stacked openly in markets. At these temperatures, bacteria cannot survive. Meat freezes instantly and stays preserved indefinitely. Local markets sell frozen fish, horse meat and wild game in open air, untouched by decay. Agriculture is impossible here, so, diets rely heavily on protein and fat. Horse meat plays a central role, valued for its energy content and, honestly, its ease of cutting even when frozen solid. Fish from icy lakes are eaten raw using a method called stroganina, sliced thin and dipped in salt and pepper. Freezing temperatures eliminate parasites, making raw consumption safe while conserving fuel and body heat. Even basic hygiene becomes a challenge. In poorer wooden houses, plumbing doesn't exist. Outdoor toilets consist of insulated sheds with containers beneath holes in the floor. Waste freezes instantly, preventing bacterial spread, but the process remains physically demanding and, unforgiving. Cameras fail, lenses crack, batteries drain in minutes. People retreat into cafes not for luxury, but survival. Inside, warmth feels unreal. Outside, eyelashes freeze together, hair turns white, and every breath becomes visible proof that humans are not meant to live here. Yet they do. Yakutsk is not a novelty. It's a living lesson in adaptation. A city shaped entirely by cold, where survival is passed down through generations, and modern life bends itself around ancient realities. This is not just winter. This is endurance. If you found this journey into the coldest city on Earth valuable, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future documentaries like this one. Share the video with fellow history and extreme environment enthusiasts and drop a comment with what shocked you most about life in Yakutsk. Your support keeps these stories alive.